Welcome back to the grand finals of the Star Ladder Invitational, and here we are in this best of 5. We're currently 1-0 in favor of VG Gaming. Invictus Gaming, well, kind of seemed like they had a draft which we would do okay against VG Gaming, but it turned out quite one-sided after a very huge power spike. After a few team fights won, and next thing you know, 25 minutes in, they called the GG. So hopefully for game 2, we'll see Invictus Gaming step up. My name is Hades, joined with me, PQMZ. Hello, P.
Hello. And yeah, I do hope this game goes slightly longer.
So, what are you expecting? What do we expect this time from IG? What's the game plan for them to actually come back in?
Oh, I'd guess they go back to their Lifestealer, as it's actually available now. They could opt for the first pick mag again. That wasn't a problem of their draft at all. 4 out of 5 pieces of their draft worked about as well as they could. But the Ember was just too low impact. I think it was half the reason their game was so hard. So I don't think that they have too much to worry about in that respect.
Like, at least so far from the games I've watched from IG, they're very used. Like, you know, we talked about in game 1 how OP is usually given a losing matchup. Something where he's okay to lose the lane, just get levels. And it's up to XXS and Burning to move around the map to create that space for him. But okay, looks like they will revert back to the original game plan. The Lifestealer comes out, and Slaughter is still in the pool as well. So we'll see whether they decide to do something about it. But VG Gaming...
Ricky as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Ricky as well. And it is something which they have played quite a lot. But... I don't know. I mean, so far, let's talk a bit more about like Tron's impact with VG Gaming. Is there anything which came to mind in that game 1?
I mean, there were no real sick Rubik plays. It was just right position, right time. Once they got the ball rolling, the game was just well executed as a team as opposed to individuals. So it would be nice to be able to pick him out and say he did something really, really amazing, but it was just like a really well-played team effort.
It was, and very coordinated. Not to mention also some credit to the Axe, where he was... I've never seen an Axe do that well, actually, in quite a while.
It's a rarity. The hero normally gets shut down early, but this is why it's drafted when it gets to play games like that. It's one of the best anti-carries as an offlaner.
Alright, so Slaughter will be denied to IAG. They do like the Slaughter Lifesteal. It's a very classic combo. You can never go wrong with the Corrosive Haze. Not to mention with Blink Initiation, it can destroy you. So maybe, like you talked about the Ricky, maybe IG could still go back for that. But otherwise, for a second pick... We have seen actually a bit more past 3 Slaughter, so they still could have room for 2 more supports on the side of VG.
Yeah, it's a very open-ended pick still, so something that doesn't give away too much to their draft is always nice. And this is a pretty strong support duo if you do want to run it. Slaughter likes the extra mana more than most. And again, it's just very annoying for the Lifestealer when he runs out of rage. Because you don't want to have to focus the 5-position hero because it's frostbiting you and killing you with an ultimate. You want to be focusing the cores. And sometimes you can get drawn away from that. I don't know, I like the CM here.
Reserve time.
I'm just thinking whether VG Gaming do pick up the Sven again, because it worked out so well for them in the last game. And with Lifestealer, you get Corrosive Haze, with God Strength coming up, you could still tear apart the Lifestealer quite easily, and Warcry is also very useful against Lifestealer, so you never know. That still could come back in. But IG, what will they choose as that taxi for the Lifestealer? That's all I'm really concerned about right now. And, Storm is still left in the pool, but it's too early to pick him up.
Earth Spirit, Ricky, Monkey all kind of work as for support vehicles early.
They go back for the Magnus again. They really love that Magnus, don't they?
I can't blame them. The hero is very, very strong right now. It's had a few small nerfs, but nothing that actually matters.
Balance in all matters. And okay, hopefully we'll see this time. A bit of a switch around. But VG Gaming, they take out the Warlock. Of course, that'd be a disaster. Like an RP into everything else thrown up at the Warlock. That's always like it's enough to traumatize you for a bit. And into the second phase of the bans, IG, who did it look to take out?
10 seconds
I mean,
remaining.
if you're them right now, you're also wondering whether the Slaughter is the pause 3 or like a 4.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you've got no inkling to know that. The only thing I'd say is that Slardar is
Dire
very
team
unlikely
back.
to be able to lane against Lifestealer +1 if it's a strong +1. So if you plan on picking a really strong support, you might be able to dissuade VG from putting it as an offlaner. But it's very open-ended right now as far as where the
10
Slardar goes.
seconds remaining.
I would be surprised though if VG let the Riki through. Riki and
5
Magnus
seconds
is
remaining.
it turns this 4-position hero into a complete and utter monster.
Reserve
And
time.
the way Bobica plays it is quite farm heavy. He roams a bit less than most of the Rikis I see. He prioritizes getting his items up. And it does so much damage.
Very good
Radiant
call.
team
And there we go.
back.
The Riki banned out. TA banned immediately. I actually would have thought IG would have picked
That's
it
a
up.
smart ban.
Pick.
Yeah. But, okay, why did they ban it out though? I thought you could have like, you could have considered picking it up for yourself. But then again, I see Slaughter staring me in the face. I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't want to give that away.
It's just a very hard hero for Lifestealer to deal with. He doesn't chew through
10
Refract at
seconds
all, so you'd have
remaining.
to worry about counter picking,
Mhm.
and Lifestealer is not that
5
tanky.
seconds remaining.
At least not to Corrosive and TA.
That's true.
Feels weird calling it
Reserve
Corrosive.
time.
Can't we just have Amp back, please? It was so much easier.
Ice Frog, please.
And Windrunner, you know?
Oh, I think that was like a copyright issues with Blizzard.
Yeah, but it's still all bullshit, right? When you said a name for like 8 years and then it gets changed, it's like, what the hell?
So Pitlord or Underlord?
I didn't play it that much in Dota 1, so I'm going with Underlord quite
Radiant
easily,
team
but
pick.
Okay. Oh, don't forget
it's
Wraith
still
King.
Pit Lord.
Don't forget Wraith King, Skeleton King.
Yeah, whatever. It's
Never forget. Never forget PQ. Never forget the original King.
that is true. He needs his Arcana
10
for
seconds
the original
remaining.
King to come
But
back.
wouldn't it be like a disaster for pubs? Can you imagine every pub would be like,
5 seconds
Brave King.
remaining.
That already happens at like 2K MMR for jungling, right?
is it? I thought in 2K they still go for like Legion or Nature's Prophet. These kind of crazy picks.
I don't know. People like Wraith King.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe.
a butt hero. It's nice and easy.
I mean, chat's gonna kill me for saying this, but okay. So who are the 2K players in there who can tell us the popular junglers? But anyways, back into our draft. Shadow Fiend coming up. I like the negative armor strat coming up from VG Gaming. Presence of the Dark Lord with Corrosive Haze is disgusting to play against. Lifestealer's gonna have a tough time. But the Silencer pick,
10
however,
seconds remaining.
this interests me. It seems a bit risky.
5
There's no
seconds
clear
remaining.
reason for them to pick it up from like VG having a huge team fight ultimate or anything yet.
Reserve time.
But it's going to be one of two things. It's either a hero that can actually contest Shadow Fiend in the lane if they pick a roaming hero and cause him to pretty much jungle from minute 3 or 4 if he doesn't get help. Or it's just a support that can mask the initiations of the Lifestealer +1 and just secure the kill, start the fight with a pick off, and then look to snowball your advantage and clean up.
I mean, I've said it before. Storm Spirits still coming in. Wow.
Radiant
VG is
team
like,
pick.
we want another 20-minute game. And they pick up the Arsa plus the Slaughter and the Shadow Fiend. This is a Lifestealer's nightmare.
Pretty much. And Silencer isn't... It's not bad against Ursa if you're actually the one initiating
10
on him,
seconds
because you
remaining.
can't ulti off the Silencers
Mhm.
like you can with stuns. But
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. It's
Dire team back.
not a fun Lifestealer game.
The
And
Tinker
Silencer
pick.
doesn't feel like he does much right now.
The Tinker pick is unique. I mean, IG could always go for the Bounty Hunter as a replacement for the Riki. Bobica did play it just now, but I don't know. It looks like
10 seconds remaining.
it feels weird. Like you pick up the Tinker and Silencer. Besides the
5
Magnus,
seconds
how
remaining.
you need your Lifestealers to have a way to just really initiate on. They don't have good stuns as well, for that matter, and you really
Reserve
want to be able to
time.
chain an Ursa down before, in case he gets his ult off.
Oh. What the Tinker pick says to me
Radiant
is,
team back.
we have lost this draft, we have to change our game plan. Because if you look at the 3 heroes against what VG had as 4,
Mhm.
I don't see them winning that game with their game plan. Unless they had some major outplays or
10
a really
seconds remaining.
pocket pick. And now they go back for the
5
Tinker as a
seconds
way to stall the
remaining.
game out. So the Magnus Silencer and Lifestealer can like kick in, and Ursa's less of a
Reserve time.
counter to Lifestealer as the game goes on. Shadow Fiend, sure he scales well, but not as well as Empowered Heroes and a Tinker. So I think that's their plan. I'm not sure it's the best plan because I normally opt for synergy personally, as opposed to deviating from your draft and just saying, okay, well, we're screwed. But we'll see. The
That
last
right,
support has a lot of
Radiant
work to
team
do
pick.
because no one moves on their team. They're all farming heroes.
Indeed.
Lifestealer can move at like 6-7 minutes, but before that, no one moves right now.
And Silencer is a really greedy hero as well. Okay, they go back for the Night Stalker.
Dire team pick.
This one I will have to say it's a deny pick because because VG Gaming have played pretty much Night Stalker previously all the time, and if they gave that away to VG Gaming, it gives them, once he gets an axe, you know, it's very easy to find a Tinker. You won't need Tinker Wards anymore.
10
And when you
seconds
control the
remaining.
map with a Night Stalker on VG's draft, it's crazy. So I can see why they picked it
5
up.
seconds
But then
remaining.
again, you talked about having someone who roams. Night Stalker does that as well.
Yeah, it could be
Reserve time. 10
as much of a
seconds
deny as
remaining.
it is a useful pick for them. Because
Mhm.
if you look at what's left in the pool as far
5
as
seconds
quote-unquote
remaining.
vehicle supports, there's kind of just Bounty Hunter and Monkey King, which Night Stalker, it feels like it fits the game slightly better to help their lanes.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I still think it's a bit of a stretch, and VG's draft looks way more secure, way more stable.
I'm just gonna believe in the Tinker pick. I'm not a fan of it right now because
I wish I could,
same.
but I can't.
Like Tinker is one of my favorite heroes. I studied Chains, Tinker, and Van for like quite a while, but you know, sometimes it feels like it's not quick enough for the meta. It's a very situational pick, but then again, we've been proven wrong several times.
I feel like when Tinker thrives, it's when if you replaced the Shadow Fiend with Tinker,
10
that's the kind of
seconds
draft I'd look
remaining.
at Tinker and be like, yeah, this hero's gonna work because it has extremely
5
mobile
seconds remaining.
early game support. It has a carry who wants to move around the map, create a lot of space in fights, draw the attention away from the Tinker. IG, they have very stationary farm-based heroes. They don't have a clear initiator at all. Magnus is not an initiator. Unless you're content using RP on a single hero, he's not really an initiating hero. They need the fight to kind of happen just through vision, either being there previously, or Night Stalker vision, or like heroes just kind of waddling together. It sounds kind of dumb, but most Magnuses wait for the middle of the fight to start their stuff.
Okay. And okay, before we get
It makes
more into
sense,
this,
right?
yeah, it does, it does. I actually agree with you in your point as well. And okay, let's look at. I'm going to introduce the teams now. For IG on the Radiant side, Bubblecar playing on the Night Stalker, OP playing on the Tinker, Burning on the Lifestealer, Q on the Silencer with XXS on his Magnus. For the Dire side, VG Gaming End on the Ursa, Chuan on the Crystal Maiden, HYM on the Slaughter with Ori playing the Shadow Fiend. Last but not least, you have Yang playing on the Centaur. So, okay, before we enter this, I just want to ask you, I just want to confirm actually, not ask, do you favor VG Gaming's draft into this? You do, right? You would favor VG for this?
Like 75, 80%.
Damn.
I feel like it's a major outdraft.
30
And
seconds to
okay,
go.
like I will still, I'm just gonna favor IG just for entertainment value because I want to believe in a Tinker pick, Tinker Magnus, and if he gets an Aghanims, I feel like he can actually stall the game out long enough at least for them to come online. But then again, we did say that was possible in the previous game. Look what happened.
I mean,
Ooh.
it's just the change of game plan for them.
VG, smoked up. They want to contest this rune.
The battle begins.
Oh, there we go. They get the frostbite immediately, but no more crush, and they just steal the bounty rune. That's still worth it.
Well, it does flag that they're aggroing, so I actually have a bit more time to adjust.
Oh, they're
to this.
adjusting right now. Let's look at it. XXS is like, okay, I'm on the way.
Yeah, he knew already. He had a TP from the start, so they probably weren't hard reading that they'd go aggro, but they were very well prepared for it because they're moving so quickly. And I think this is a really good call from VG because there's no real reason for them to not. Their lane just suits better this way. And Centaur with a good start early is, you know, very scary hero. He would do fine in a one-on-one matchup if he was given it, and if you're in your safe lane against a dual or a tri-lane, it's a lot easier to get levels. And this hero's proven what he can do with it. Maybe not to the same extent as the Axe last game, but, you know, we'll see.
So Tinker obviously having the advantage with the laser early on.
Gets less and less depending how much pressure the supports put on the SF. Gets easier for him as time goes on. With like the raindrops coming in so you can't die as easily, etc.
I was interested to
really
see
hard early.
that they didn't actually put their own aggro tri-lane for the side of IG. They decided to run the dual lanes. So how do you feel about that? Is that a right move? Just putting their silencer with the Magnus?
I think it's a better split for them overall, because if Silencer goes top, what does he actually accomplish? The Centaur's still either going to be under the tower when the creeps push into him and still get his CS, and you're going to split the experience between three heroes, or in this way he can manipulate the lane, force the supports to stay down here, because the CM's already going jungling, realizing she doesn't need to be in this lane. And it can really annoy Ursa if you get the side camp pulls. So he actually accomplishes something here. And then Slardar's not running mid and harassing the Tinker because he feels like he wants to be bottom to stop the pulls for the Ursa and guard him. So he's at least accomplishing something.
Bit of a skirmish going on. Both of them dueling up, but Q says, I have the double damage. Are you sure you want to hit me? Oh my god, is that first blood? Oh, he gets...
1 health.
That was like, what, 40 HP?
No, 1. Literally 1.
Oh my god. Alright, that was a really close shave, and looks like HYM is back for round 2. Hello! Where are you running?
And the S is coming.
And
Slowly but surely.
Body blocks,
Can't body
blocks.
block with sprint, bro.
No, the sprint's off, But he's gonna make it in time to shrine? Oh no, he eats him up and is like... I can't get +2 from you, but I'll take first blood. So, nice and easy kill. Worth it for him.
Yeah, for sure. Nice to see him move. Help his support out, net the kills.
Wabaka just messing around with the pool. So, with this double wave, or at least the full wave coming in, this is pretty big, going the way to burning.
Yeah, lane control's a big deal in these situations. The higher up you are, the more prone you are to bad things happening. And you can actually zone the center out a tiny bit if you bring the silencer up here. But I feel like they're running into a lot of problems already.
You just look at the VG draft, like, they understand what's going on. You have a Crystal Maiden who's just free farming the jungle, not a care in the world. Level 2.5 ready, 3 minutes in. And this Tinker, no lockdown for him whatsoever. He's 13-7. I mean, he's kind of even with the Shadow Fiend, given he did miss out a few CS during the level 1 to 2 stage. And hold on, the back foot here. Got the Crush, looking for the raises with the Frostbite. That should be the kill into OP. Don't tell me he gets out. Okay, no, just kidding. HYM gets the bash at the very end. And Q. Looks like he wants to go for the kill here into HYM. Nice sidestep from Bobaka. Do they have enough damage to kill HYM? Oh, the high ground miss. The Tango is doing enough work. He doesn't need to deny him, does he? Ooh, 10 HP.
Not even close. And now they get to Shrine up. That's actually such a big deal. They get the kill on the Tinker there and nothing bad happens. It's just more going in VG's favor.
So, 2-0, 4 minutes and a half in. It's pretty good. Like, now you leave the Ursa, the Magnus alone, and has the level advantage.
The main problem in this game is if you look at how IG kind of match up at 15, 25, 35 minutes, their answer to VG is be ahead, buy an item, or have some kind of advantage to allow yourself to say
they for the Crush, misses the Crush, XXS, they need one more hit. One more hit. Oh, jukes around the trees, and okay, they get the kill, but he does get a ton of damage out, and HYM will be forced to go back.
Yeah, not close enough to Tranquils, so... And it's still, come to the lane, get a kill, worth.
No Shrine.
Tron though, he's gonna get smoke ganked.
Oh, Tron. They came from behind, and Chuan will go down. +2 going to Q. Shadow Fiend will have to back out, but looks like they want to dive this. They do get the Void Slow onto Ori. They have the laser, do they? No, they do not, but Ori will be going down to Bobaka, who gets a double. Is he actually dying under the tower? No, gets out on 30 HP. He's just going to TP out.
That was so greedy from him.
But worth it.
It's like, they're not gonna come dive me under the tower. I'm just gonna take one more CS or something, and then he pays for it. That's a mistake that you really don't want to be making. It's not that big a deal though. I think IG need a lot more good things going for them to make this game feel good.
Oh,
Especially as they can just smoke up and do the same thing to the Tinker.
Up. Q actually could be the one to break the smoke. They see Q and looks like they will find the Silencer instead. I think this is good. It's better that the Silencer dies. They give kill to Ori as well, because this way it means Tinker dodges the gank. So that's not a complete loss.
A Pylai down move.
It is.
Sacrificing for your teammate. And he's just a silencer. He's gonna get boots, get level 6, and his impact is gonna be through his spells and his map movement as opposed to anything else.
Right, so it looks like, okay, OP is actually going for the Soul Ring over like the Travel's Rush. And there are no stacks in the jungle for him. So what's your thoughts on that? Like for a Tinker to go for the Soul Ring instead of just going for the Boots of Travel straight?
Normally to me it says you have a way of using the Soul Ring to net you something.
Oh, hold on. Looks like they will use the Stampede.
Boys.
Very, very worth it, I think. But on the bright side, you know, Ori doesn't die. That was scary. Bobaka picked up a very casual Invis rune.
He got it from the bottom rune, right?
Yeah.
They have so much vision over here. I'd be very surprised if they didn't know that was coming, because he was really quick on the Stampede as well.
But Yang, they want to try for him, and I think Centaur knows what's going on, because he does have a ward there.
Yeah, that bottom side of the map, even the mid lane, it has 3 wards.
They're playing
And
this
most
very
of that
passive.
is to deal with Night Stalker. The one thing IG really do have going for them though is SF's having a horrible time to start with, and their 3 cores are all doing in and around each other, which is a pretty good thing. They're all going to need a certain amount of farm in the early game at least. You'd expect the Magnus to taper off, but him having a earlier blink timing is going to help them a lot.
I mean, we did say that in the previous game. XXS, he had a blink and arcane boots by 10 minutes in the previous game, but I mean, look how that turned out. So
that was not his fault though.
Yeah, that wasn't
he
his
played
fault.
about as well as he could.
Yeah. Oh, trying for the courier hit, one more hit. He knows someone is there. Slaughter.
That's a pretty yellow courier.
Want to get the crouch into burning, yeah. So go for it, and you can do it. Run! No.
He had it.
Why did he cancel? Oh, he canceled at the last minute. So they're going to know that he's going to do Roshan right now. This is a very risky move from N.
Is it? I mean, I'm not really sure how they punish.
I mean, they can just go and contest the Rosh, can they?
How? Like, they have a Slardar. He's zonal.
He's level 4. I mean, I don't know. Alright, so
how does walking into the pit work out though? You're a life stealer, okay? You walk into the pit.
Okay.
You press rage, they use their stuns. Then Ursa hits you a few times instead of hitting Roche. And unless Roche is really your bro and bashes him like 3 times in a row, that ends badly for you. And the rest of his team are not in a position to help at all. That was a very simple call from them.
Okay.
And now they can set the tempo of the game a bit more, play a bit more aggressively.
They will go for a dual smoke between Tron and End. Probably hit to the bottom lane. If they can slow down XXS's blink timing, that'd be good. But looks like they will find themselves... Q, learning from Pylai, die! And he will go down nice and easy to End. Die, die, die.
Affirmative. Sad game for him. He still has more network than Tron though. I'm not quite sure how actually, but sometimes things are a mystery.
So now looks like they still want to go to the bottom. They're using the RP for this. Skewer under the tower, but the Stampede, it's okay. Angry Bear gets the kill, and Yang gets out. And
That was such a sick bait.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant
So
structures
RP on
are
cooldown, dagger slowed. That was a big win for VG.
Dire structures
If they can get the tower off it as well, it just
Radiant's
sets the
bottom
pace of the
tower
game for them
is under
very
attack.
nicely, because End will be able to finish his dagger after this. Presuming they can get it, the rest of his team's kind of left him alone down here, so they might not be able to finish it off. But any aggression they can make pay off, just it kind of double dips, because they're making a lot of space for the Shadow Fiend, so he's getting farmed meanwhile. And if they get any good outcome on their side, they're just winning across the map.
Okay. Oh, meanwhile, Tinker, yep, he didn't complete the soaring. He just went for the Ring of Regen first. He's going to get that Boots of Travel after killing off this. Yep, there we go. 11 minutes Boots of Travel, not too shabby. Yang still halfway to a Blink Dagger.
Radiant's middle
SF
tower
is basically on
under
a
attack.
wand and a Wraith Band. It's not satisfactory. He's in the bottom half of the net worth.
Yeah, he's having a lot harder of a time catching up than I thought.
Boboka popping the nighttime. And immediately HYM is, I'm afraid of the dark. He runs all the way to the tower.
And he wants his blink. But they're in position to punish if they dive him.
Crystal Maiden and Shadow Fiend also rotating to the top. This could end badly, but burning his rage, so I don't think it should be that bad of a situation. He's gonna go for the rune. They
And
know
he can
he's
always
there.
get out.
They don't have. Oh, they do have Stampede, but they wouldn't have been able to catch up. Still trying to go for Boboka, or they can just transition this into a tier 1 push.
The towers are probably in the name of the game for them right now. I don't see any way IG can contest, even if they have the blink on mag.
Radiant's top tower
They just need
is
too
under
many
attack.
stars to align.
Using that void, and this is where Tinker things becomes very annoying with the missile spam and the march.
Under attack.
He's just gonna keep doing this to try and stall.
Oh wow, they're actually content just backing off. I thought they'd try and maybe force a fight there, but I suppose they don't really have everything they want for that yet. So they probably want the blink on both the Centaur and Slardar before they start YOLO diving towers. Because if Ursa just goes on his own, he's going to get slowed, and maybe the fight just goes really horribly, even with a Stampede.
Agreed. And I think they identified they'll definitely have a much better time forcing fights, not with just an Ursa Aegis. Otherwise they lose too much, and next thing you know, Tinker gets crazy big. Because he's already on the soaring, so he's just going to keep doing his thing, you know, get bigger and bigger. XXS with the blink, they want to debut this Blink Dagger, Blink RP. If they can find a Slaughter, that's a
Radiant's
big
bottom
win.
tower is under attack.
Oh, they know he's there alone.
He's 1800 gold. Pretty close to his blink. See how greedy he gets.
Oh, HYM, hello, my friends. Where are you going? And of course, with the last word, I think they have enough damage to kill him off.
Yeah, you can't bottle him up.
Oh, there we go, the shockwave. What a spoiler. And Q is going to get +2.
Dire's top tower
That's his
is
Tranquil's
under
completed,
attack.
and
Burning died on the other side of the map though, so
He
good
did?
trade
Wait.
overall.
wait, how?
I'm guessing that was half of the Stampede use. With,
Okay.
I was watching the bottom side like you were. My bad, I suppose I should have looked at that shit. But I'm tired.
Oh, it's
Cut me
okay.
some
It's all
slack.
good. Thank you for joining. And
Radiant's top tower is
73,
under attack.
VG Gaming, despite having the kill score advantage, it seems like a very narrow lead because of the power spikes, which IG, they still have yet to really show off of hitting their timings yet. We haven't seen Burning rotate as much as he would like. He still doesn't have the armlet as well.
They're just not looking to fight at all. They want as much resources out of the map as possible while not going towards the enemy heroes. And I think that's their game plan for the next 5-10 minutes. It all depends on like how much pressure VG put, I think. The fact they were able to defend their top tower wasn't like a huge deal because the tower's an important tower. It's more of a, you know, any kind of map control is good with Tinker. The more towers you have in your game as he gets his blink, the better. Because it just becomes so annoying. And VG do have a really good lineup of dealing with it just because they have so many gap closing heroes and they're all pretty tanky.
Radiant's bottom tower
That was
is
really
under
good from
attack.
Ori to help out, help
Dire's
HYM get
top
that blink.
tower
Now he
is
has
under
it.
attack.
They can go really crazy right now. You have someone else to set up for the Ursa as well. So that's just something really big. And we might see VG go for a smoke soon.
No real reason not to. They have all their initiation
Dire's top
items.
tower is under attack. Radiant's middle
And
tower
Shadowfiend's
is
at a
under
point
attack.
now where he's kind of back equal on net worth. You'd expect him to be a bit higher, but he had a slow start and the Ursa's been thriving in his absence. So tier 1 mid is the name of the game. The Tinker is not set up as of yet, so if VG can flank with a ward and maybe get a good initiation, it could go really, really well for them.
Oh, they know the fight's gonna come around mid, so they look.
If they can get the Tinker.
Look at the flank maneuver coming up from IG. They pop in nighttime, looking for Ori. But no, the crush initiation, they only take down the lifesteal immediately with the global silence. It will not be enough to save him. And now the stampede out. They're gonna try and run away from this one. The RP catching the 3 heroes. Where's the follow-up though? Now, screw it back under the tower, and that will be the death of XXS. Ori gonna bring someone down with him, it seems. He's still alive. 100 HP, gets out.
He's dead.
Arcane Curse? I think he's gonna die here. Yes, he will. So killing spree going the way of Q. Young, okay. Well, they Hood of Defiance saving him for now. And that's gonna be a 4-for-1 trade. Very, very worth it here
Radiant's
for,
middle tower is
for
under
VG
attack.
Gaming.
Yeah, they'll be very, very happy with that. I don't think IG will mind too much because they hold the tower and the Tinker doesn't die. They'll chalk that up as a loss, don't get me wrong, but holding the tower is a big deal in these kind of games. The longer they can hold that, the better. It's hard to explain why without like boring people and talking for 20 minutes.
It's okay. Well, these are some things. This is just Dota, right? Like, you have to learn these tiny details. They all add up. And especially as a Tinker, like, because I told you, I studied Tinker, so I know what you mean by you need to keep the towers up. People think, like, Tinker is good at holding high ground, but these towers, they help a lot.
It's more for the rest of the team than the Tinker, because the Tinker can always go to where the farm is.
Yeah.
But if the Tinker is farming the waves that come to your tower, the rest of your team is on nothing at all.
Okay,
Whereas
oh,
what the-
XXS in the wrong neighborhood. Crush, amplified, stomp. He just stomped into the ground. Splat.
He was definitely not looking at his hero right there. I mean, his blink wasn't
Oh, hold on, the Mr. Crush
available.
OP. He's gonna show that blink now. And, well, you talked about how once they get their blink daggers up, they'll force the fight. This is what VG Gaming are doing right now.
I don't expect them to stop anytime soon either. Unless IG takes some really convincing fight with Global, which, again, is really, really hard for them to do.
Gets the tower denied, but N, he was thinking about going for that hit. And now they can slowly make their way into the tier 1 top, or... Yeah, they can go to tier 1 top before waiting for Roshan. Man, I don't feel safe TPing to this area of the map where VG are at all. Like, IG, one person goes in, they're dead.
Pretty much, and that's why they are not even attempting it. If they want to send a support up and maybe try and delay the push, it's just like, it's not worth at all.
Like, you look at OP, he's taken to cutting the creep wave so they can get the tier 1. And I think the next big item power spike for them would be Bulbasaur's Aghanims as well, but that's gonna take a long time. You look at Bernie, he went back for the Midas.
Yeah, I think that's a... They know their win condition is to play the game later, so I like the armlet early because it gave them the chance to take a fight if VG maybe messed up or if they found themselves in a really good position.
Okay.
And it's also a really just good farming tool. But going back for the Midas is tell that they want to play for the later game because they're all going Midas.
Okay.
I actually didn't notice how farmed the Nightstalker was. He's doing really well. He could be a big turning point. Because his axe will probably come around the same time Tinker gets his, maybe even earlier. And if they can combine those, they might be able to win a fight off it. Vision is absolutely massive.
HYM, he did put a Tinker ward. He almost got the crush onto the Tinker, but the March did quite a ton of damage, and they're gonna pick. Yeah, they're pinging it out. Tron alone at the top. He has a Tinker ward there as well. Wait,
He is
no,
without team though, so...
Oh, hold on, wait. Actually, that wasn't like VG's Tinker ward. That was actually that was just OP's ward.
It's a good ward to have.
It is. Helps you especially against the Slaughter initiation, and now they know. Roshan's up as well.
People are always going to set up in the trees and hope to catch you if you miss blink and don't get into like one of the crevices and you actually get into a path.
So let's talk about Shadowfiend now. We haven't talked about him much. You said that his farm, it's been a bit underwhelming considering the nature of the hero, but also because he had a really slow start. So if there's double damage, maybe they can look to take a quicker rush and for another objective. But will the BKB be a huge item for him?
I think it's just like the timing around it all. He's really far away from it right now, so they might be able to give him Aegis and just go. Because End has BKB now. So he doesn't need an Aegis.
Okay. Giving Bobica the scare.
And they also have the pipe now, so they're going to be able to get a creep wave into the tower, and if they have any sort of vision, it becomes really scary for IG to defend. Unfortunately, they don't actually have any wards on any of their heroes, and they only have, I think it's one in stock. I don't know if the shop is actually broken and just not showing me. No, they're actually out for 2 minutes. So they have one ward on the map, and it's not really a useful ward. They need much deeper vision than the one they have in the mid lane if they want to secure any kind of fights.
Oh, HYM, he knew the silencer was in the neighborhood and Q immediately TPs out. But they haven't had much chance to invade the jungle as well, seeing as Invictus Gaming, ever since they got the Midases, you know, they've been kind of kicking back. But no, HYM, TPing to the shrine, that's very risky, but they should know that he's all alone.
I have a really nice vision of the area.
Oh, Bobica has
between
the
wards and the Ags. This is by far the most game-changing thing for their lineup. If he can... I honestly think the Mag should forgo Midas and just buy him a gem. But he could probably farm up the gem, and it doesn't matter if they take a few minutes to get it. Because map control is going to be so key for them. VG's lineup is very heavily reliant on knowing when and where to take the fights.
So... Oh, and this is actually going for Vlad. I guess it's pretty okay. Oh, top lane. They do kill Yang, who was waiting inside the trees. So you can see that Aghanim's already paying off. And he's gonna get a gem very soon. I mean, back to my point, I was talking about like... Wait, who? Yeah, okay, I was referring to... For example, one of them like Shadow Fiend. What's his next item? Like, after the BKB?
He could even forgo BKB, because he has an Aegis. But... with Tinker getting Ags out soon, I think you have to get it at some point anyway, so he probably just gets it. And then... I think it really depends where the game's at. If they're at a point where they have an Aegis and they can push high ground, probably Butterfly, Scatty, some stat-based item. If the game becomes at a point where the map is extremely split, you might even see Shadowblade. Sure, it's not as effective against Night Stalker, but maybe one pick off can win you the game.
Okay.
So I think it really depends how the next 10 minutes go as to how he itemizes. Because now he's at a point where he's getting the farm you'd expect a Shadow Fiend to get. So the world will be his oyster in about 5 minutes. Well,
Ursa completed the Vlads. Usually we see the Mask of Madness, but I think this synergizes pretty well with Slaughter and not to mention Shadow Fiend. The extra lifesteal, the aura helps. So now they're invading the jungle. Yeah, which is a good thing. And now they're gonna go for this tier 2 tower bottom lane. His next item is going to be the Deso. I mean, we talked about this before as well, like from the C games we cast it together, where it's great for sieging. And on top of that, you have a Shadow Fiend. Oof, people will melt very quickly, especially burning on this lifestealer who he's actually going for a Manta style.
Just to get rid of the amp for the most part. It's also good at manipulating Ursa's targeting.
So they get the tier 2 bottom, and IG very afraid to really push out this lane.
Like, the tier 2 towers are not going to be too easy for them to defend, but high ground's still pretty easy.
Like, we pretty much saw how IG, they were very mixed. They were just like grouping around this area. I saw on the minimap, they were like walking, they were thinking about going to tower, they backed off, went back again. They're like, I don't feel too safe.
Yeah, there's a lot of jump, so...
It's hard to catch even Tron if you're the lifestealer, because he has a 4-staff and now a Solar Crest in the quick buy. Wow, you don't usually see Solar Crest coming up on Crystal Maidens, do you?
No, you normally see Mobility or Glimmer, but this is it's all kind of combining into a timing. Solar Crest is one of the most annoying items to play against as a hero that wants to right click.
Especially
And
lifestealer.
Yeah, considering it's like 2 minutes until nighttime, and they're gonna know the Night Stalker ult's down if they're keeping track of it. This is like one of few windows they're gonna have to play really, really aggressive. And I think IG read this perfectly because look at where the lanes are and look at where the heroes. They're playing so far back.
Aegis
If they
just
can wait
expired.
like 10 seconds, they're gonna have nighttime and they're gonna have their vision back.
They know. HYM being very patient. Oh no, he was scouted out daytime, the smoke broke. So now they'll pop the nighttime. Bobica moving forward, and VG Gaming will be on the retreat. They don't feel safe, they don't have the vision advantage. This does go to IG. So pretty smart read from both teams. They understand each other's timings and they respect the nature of the draft. So no fight for now.
It's a long con though. They force the ulti out now, then it kicks into daytime for a few seconds, goes into... Actually no, that doesn't even work because the ult's just going to be back up. I hate playing against this hero so much.
I think it's like a nightmare for any pub. Even especially for Tinker players usually, but seeing as they're on the same team, you know, it's pretty okay. Tinker did go for the Ags. Ooh. VG are going to be in for a very tough time.
Yeah, it's so much worse in like a real game though, because you actually use the vision as opposed to in pubs. Like, for now, you have a minute where it's daytime, and he has no ulti, but you're in such a defensive position on the map, by the time you actually get out, it's pretty much nighttime by the time anything happens. Nighttime kicks over, his ult's back up. You just don't have a window where you can punish the vision.
Oh, they know the Magnus. They know where Magnus is. They know where XXS is. Ooh, no, this ward... I think this ward actually gave them vision just at the very tip. The one in the jungle. Like, it showed them the rotation, I think. But they weren't even smoked up. They just walked in.
Coin for me.
Which ward?
The one in the Radiant jungle. Yeah, this one. I think it spotted the Crystal Maiden because she walked a bit to the left. She wanted to go up here to put the ward, and I think that's how he knew, because he immediately blinked out and skewed for the TP.
And that or some sick game sense. And now the counter smoke. With nighttime ticking round.
They have an Infest Bomb too. Night Stalker all the way in front.
Needs to use his Midas. Please, dude. Midas. Efficiency.
No? No?
It's in his mind. It's way more important to like A, not show if there's any wards there, and B, look for the gank. It hurts to watch, but it doesn't matter that much.
But this just shows how both teams, they really, it's just respect for each other's draft and the way it works. So this is one of the huge differences I feel between a competitive game and a pub game in general.
This is even a difference.
I think they saw the Crystal Maiden. They know where the CM is. They could be going for the play now. Bobica is all the way at the trees. They don't know where they are. The missiles will scare them back. XXS.
I think they could maybe fight under a shrine, but
no idea. Let's see the Force Staff. They're way too far out. I actually felt like OP shouldn't have used the missiles. I think if they were a bit more patient. VG Gaming was slowly moving towards the south. It could have happened, but
yeah, I actually agree with that. But hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, like, think of it as a Magnus, he doesn't have a Force Staff. There was no way he could have gone for a longer range initiation than he would have liked. So, it's such a pity.
He's poor, man.
Yeah, it's another if. Like, there are many ifs right now in the way this game is developing. So far, so pretty okay. They take care of the ward behind the tower as well. And they just go back to farming. If anything, I feel this is one of those games. They wait for another Aegis before they try for another objective.
Yeah, it's just windows, right? Like, as you were saying about the pub reference, this is even a difference between like tier 1 teams and tier 2 teams. You see how it's literally like playing chess. The one team smokes.
Tried for the crush in the last one. He's just gonna Force Staff his way out. But hold on, look at Burning. He did use the opening wounds to Tron, who does Force Staff forward. You can see the appeal behind the Force Staffs. Great against heroes like Lifestealer.
Yeah, that's tried and true. Yeah, this is at the point of the game. IG finally start hitting their stride, and They're completely dictating the momentum right now. I think VG can still win a fight if they have some form of vision or just a decent jump.
But so hard to
However,
initiate.
getting that is, yeah, it's near impossible. If IG don't clump up or make a misstep, then VG don't have that option.
Like, if anything, despite having all these blink daggers, because of the Tinker and you have the Night Stalker, I feel like these heroes do need BKB.
They do have center ags though, so maybe they could do some clowny play.
But that's a lot of damage.
Well, if VG's like pushing up here,
They
you
want
can
to try.
go
I think
here.
they want to force the issue here. Bobaka, he does give them good vision. X success with the RP onto 2. The global silence comes out right now, but the 4-staff warrior, they're fighting under the shrine, and he's going to start right-clicking away onto Burning, but the rage is up there. But Burning, with the amplifier onto him, looks like he will go down here to the right-click from End, and they will find the silencer. Q also goes down. And after a long time of no fighting, VG say, screw it. We found it.
Whoops. Oh, IG found them and then realized, oh shit, this isn't good enough. I think he almost got free hero RP, but did someone actually blink out of it? Or did he just miss? I feel like there should have been free heroes in that RP. That might have changed the fight, but regardless, it's like...
Tinker wasn't really there, he was TPing in, but the RP was just a bit too quick. Like, in that aspect, it's very hard to synergize in that sense, because it's a really tough call. When the Stampede is there, and plus, don't forget, it's an Aghanim's Stampede. I didn't even notice he had the Axe.
I mentioned it before the fight.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's like... For every bit of initiation and vision that IG have, they lack that much in damage as well. Burning doesn't do a lot of damage right now. He's building to survive and deal with the Ursa as much as he can, and he's suffering for that. And unless Tinker gets 3 or 4 rotations of spells off in a fight, SF's gonna do more damage. So if you're looking to initiate with an RP and burst 2 heroes down and PG live, then you're in the shit. Because they're gonna be able to hold through that. And now they have an Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They will probably be able to clean up these tier 2s without any contention. And then it all just becomes, can they get a tier 3? Can they get the shrines? Maybe get a good high ground fight where maybe Tinker has no buyback. They could feasibly end the game with this Aegis if IG screw up. But they've been playing pretty well, at least the Tinker has, positioning wise. He hasn't been getting caught out.
I don't think he's really died besides the laning stage, have we? Yeah, he's currently 1-1 and 3. But despite having the good positioning, we still can't let go of the fact that he hasn't really gotten the damage out like we're so used to seeing.
Oh, that's just down to the lack of fights.
So now Bobaka, oh, the laser bouncing around. Ooh, he tried for the stop, but the skewer back to max success. They've caught somebody. Centaur going to be 4-staffed out. Nicely done from End, but the laser is going pew pew pew.
That's fine.
Everyone's reloaded. Is going to stampede out, looking for the laser. Doesn't connect from the creep bounce. So that's a really close shave. If anything, they do need BKBs on. Like, I feel like even the Centaur needs a BKB, but he's going for a Lotus Orb.
I think Lotus is a bit better on this hero, but the important heroes have BKBs. The Ursa and the SF. And if they can actually get to a point where either one of those initiations from Centaur or Slardar latch, or they get into some kind of run at you with Stampede on and latch, they can make those initiations work. And they have enough time on the Aegis to push down a lane and go again. There's 3 minutes left.
Is it alright to say that VG are on the clock, because you're going up against a Tinker? This guy, he can, as long as he keeps stalling and Burning is going to keep getting fat. You can see he already has a Crystallis, maybe for Bloodthorn later on. A Basher's on the way. He thought about the Assault Cuirass, but decided against it. And Night Stalker is also like, he's going to have a BKB up pretty soon.
Oh yeah, they're definitely on a clock. Tinker is the late game carry here. And considering he has the Light Stalker to enable him, his game becomes a lot easier just based on this hero. But I don't think they're really on a clock until maybe the Aegis after this one.
Oh, HYM, he's got the crush, he's got the corrosive haze. Q, with the stampede, they're gonna slow him down, but he force stabs. Is there a bash? The frostbite's gonna cancel, and that's gonna be the death of Q. So they do get one pick off. No global silence. Is this that window of opportunity to pick high ground?
Especially where the lane is, it damn well could be an attempt. Tinker can set up all he wants, but I think if VG really want to brute force it, they could. But as we all know, Chinese teams risk reward. It's all how they evaluate, and they play a lot more clinical, and they don't deem it's worthwhile. And they might even find a nice talk with a gem here, but fortunately, nighttime vision with his ult is like 400 or 500.
Dire's top tower
Okay.
is under attack.
Not the most relevant hero to have BKB on though, I feel like. He does hit kind of hard with Empower, I suppose.
Or like just having the silence miss rate against heroes like Ursa, because if his BKB is down, I believe his BKB is like what? Oh, it's actually still 9 seconds. I thought okay, yeah, the lack of fights, that explains. But that Void still, you know, just having the miss rate from the silence as well, the crippling fear, that's gonna be really big against Ursa.
I have a feeling the fight's going to be over in BKB durations at this stage though. So as the game goes on, yeah, for sure, it's going to make a difference. They know where this Night Stalker is, but I don't think they have the means to jump him.
So now, HYM going for that Shadow Blade play. He knows that's just an illusion, he's gonna follow him. And Illusion's just like, what? Okay, so checking for wards. Yeah, they just want to starve out IG, which is not easy to succeed in doing that because you're going up against a Tinker, and he's going for the Bloodstone. I'm not sure how I feel about that item. I kind of feel maybe the Hex would be better, but it's just too risky to get into that kind of positioning, anyways.
I think he needs Shivas. I mean, I'm no Tinker player, but I feel like this game is mostly about manipulation of the map as opposed to team fights. And also Shivas gives you a lot more survivability. Because he normally gets a decent amount of health. Especially with the talent. And you could also say you play Dagon and just try and stop the pushes that way. Get them to half health before they get to the towers.
Regarding the Ursa, is Aghanim Scepter really gonna help him? Not like an MKB or an Abyssal Blade?
It's good to take off like the laser debuff and other things. I don't know, Ursa's one of those awkward heroes where he likes a lot of 3,000 to 4,500 gold items in his inventory. Well, I suppose 2 to 4.5 with like the Blink and the Vlads. He gets 6-slotted very quickly. Other than like a Hex, I don't really see many better options. And I say Hex instead of Basher just because of the cast range. You don't always get the luxury of blinking on top of someone.
Now they will go for an Infest Bomb. IG, they have identified they can't really stay inside for long. They need to make something happen.
If they can fight around the shrine, it should be pretty good.
Yeah, I think fighting around the shrine is currently their best option for fighting. But it's risky though, it's very risky. They're approaching near each other.
VG definitely know what's up if you look at like who's
the Neutron's
positioning
there.
where.
Does he go for the Blink Skewer? He puts the ward down. Looking, oh, they get the crush. Oh, if they can kill the Night Stalker, it'll be pretty big. Looking for the stomp. Doesn't really land there, but the laser's bouncing around. But the BKBs are up, and the Bobaka looks like he may just lose that gem right there, right now. Ooh, no, he's actually gonna run this one off. Ursa.
I think he is.
Oh, not the crush is there anyways, and they lose the gem. Big stuff. So they lose.
No buyback.
But they do have the buyback on Silencer. They could still try for the global stance to force a fight. Lasers and March will be there to stall the push.
They still have cheese on the SF though, so he can go down.
But you don't want to waste it like that, so they just back off. Alright, still pretty big fight. At least you get...
It's a big win for them.
So you have the gem. So both gems going to VG now. I don't think IG have the chance to buy a gem yet, do they? Okay, hold on, yeah, it's back off cooldown.
Yeah, they bought it ages ago, so... Unfortunately, Roche is 2.5 minutes, which I don't think VG will be too happy about. But their game plan is definitely based around stalling for this Roche and going again. If they can save this cheese as well, and they can get like double cheese and an Aegis, that might just be enough to like brute force the game.
Okay.
Especially if Tinker doesn't have a
Dire's
buyback,
middle tower is under
which
attack.
maybe it gets to the point where he's just about to finish his Bloodstone and he values that more. Bloodstone's probably one of the better items to finish though, even though he's leveling up his Dagon. He just has Bloodstone in his quick buy for whatever reason.
I want to talk about his talent. Like, he went for 225 health against the spell amplification. Wouldn't you want to take the spell amplification since he hasn't been dying in these fights, you know?
I think it's such a small amount of amp. I don't know, I feel like I'd always go health, and I think most of the Tinker players I watch have always gone for the health as well.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It's just...
They might bump into each other. Like, pop the nighttime and they want to get out immediately. I'm sure Burning saw that. They were really close to each other as well. They saw the dragon move out. And they're just waiting for Roshan. They know it's almost up, both scouting at the same time. But, I mean, back to your point, you were saying that Tinker players, they usually go for the health, but what is the reasoning behind it? Why would you not take the damage?
Because when you do get caught, you can play your way out of it in a lot of situations. Sometimes it's just having the health to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I feel like it
Dire's
just...
bottom tower is under attack.
The 4% is so little. If you ever die because you don't have 225 health, which is a decent chunk from a talent, then you'll kick yourself for it. It's not like you're getting extra kills because of spell amp.
Okay.
At least in 99.9% of situations, there's always a justification for everything in this game. I think it all just comes down to preference.
Meanwhile,
I don't think I've ever seen...
hold
spell
on,
amp
Q
outside
getting
the
jumped
pub.
again. HYM with the bashes. And of course, the laser's gonna get a bit of bounce around. They're just trying to do whatever they can. Oh, look at OP. That was a bit of a shock for the Lotus Orb. And meanwhile, I want to talk about Burning. He went for the Daedalus. He did have the Basher and the Quick Buy, but he went back, completed Daedalus, and now he's going to go for an Assault Cuirass. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, like, going for the Daedalus instead of completing the Basher?
It definitely helps his farm speed a lot, which is proving to be a pretty big deal this game, as he's managing to surpass his Tinker and stay on par with an SF who's taking more of the map than he is. Or at least in theory. But I think this is just late game optimization, right? He's critting for like just over 1,000 with Empower. That gives him a chance to manfight Ursa outside of Ursa all pretty comfortably. And you can chew through the rest of the heroes pretty easily.
Popping the nighttime.
They aren't
Oh,
set
they know
up
the
for
life
this.
stealers there. Hold on, they saw the ward. I'm pretty sure they saw it. And Bobaka staying at the very edge. He's gonna try and break the smoke. He broke the smoke onto end, and now they're gonna know. Meanwhile, just taking care of the ward. Immediately 4 stabs down. This is such an intense moment between the two teams. They know what's going on, and I think they want to chase. IG, they're feeling confident. Do they have the refresher over yet? No, they do not yet. So, okay, and Roshan's up now. Both teams circling around the pit. Missiles
It's
flying
just
out.
a game of cat and mouse.
And
Mexican
VG,
standoff.
they do not feel confident about taking this Roche.
Yeah, they shouldn't either. The vision just makes it way too cancerous with the rocket spam and stuff for the Ursa to sustain.
And the waves are also still like quite decently in their favor. It's pretty evened out. Doesn't really favor any side. VG Gaming seem very unsure about what to do. Do they take the risk going into the Roshan pit?
I don't think they can, but they need to do some kind of bait where they force them to answer the Ursa in the Roche pit because they do take it so quickly. And then to force the fight off it. So I still think they win the fight here if they play it well.
They have vision in the Roche pit because of this Ags. And just like that, do they actually think about trying to steal the Roche themselves? Getting the silence onto the Centaur. And both teams, like you said, cat and mouse. No one dares to initiate on anyone. Blinking to the Roche pit, thinking for a crush. Something for a stomp.
This positioning favors IG quite heavily though.
They go back in. They want to go for the skewer out. Looking for the RP. Oh, only finds one though. And XXS doesn't really die. Yusuf does himself up into the air, but a stampede. And OP actually does finally get himself his first kill. And bang, bang, bang. Look at all that laser bouncing around. Not killing anyone.
That's
He's
my
out of
buyback.
mana. He needs to get out, but and going straight for OP. Can he get the bash? Oh, more than enough damage to the Corrosive Haze. And that's going to be VG Gaming finding themselves another Roshan. OP buying back. They do not want to give this up. They want to go back in. XX says, let's go back in for the Aegis. Doesn't steal it, picked up by N. Young, the Storm, perfect timing. OP can't really kill him off. Out of mana, he's just going to blink out and TP out. Q, not sure where you're going. Last minute's end, he's okay with that. And they have the Shrine to go back to, I believe. No, they do not. But they do get the Aegis, so that's a really big win for VG Gaming. Forcing the Tinker to buy back. They kill him off one time, that's high ground, that's game.
Yeah, and they've got 6 minutes to do that in. Well, just under, because of having to go back and such. But now they have like such a huge legitimate win condition. They just need to stampede into their base, find the bloody Tinker, and kill him. And they saw how easy that was. Like, he melts. He has no defensive items outside of being able to blink away. Which is not so easy when a nurse is in your face.
I'm not sure why he went targeting the Centaur in general. I'm not sure whether he was really, like, you know, it's out of respect, you want to cancel his blink or whatever, but, like, you know, he has almost a heart. He has an axe, he has the Lotus Orb, he has the pipe.
Yeah, he's tank.
Yeah, he's the raid boss right now. But Tinker is just spending so much time using his Dagon into the Centaur, maybe because he was, like, the nearest target. I felt he could have gone for the Ursa or something, but, I mean, do you think it was
probably down to the nearest target thing?
Okay.
You definitely want to be like, I think Sladar is his main target. SF, it doesn't really matter as much now because he's got the MKB, so lasers are not an issue. Didn't have that fight though, so if you could have lasered him outside of BKB and forced him to use it and then kite it, would have been good. But right now, like, I didn't think this would be the case actually, but because of how low impact the Tinker is in the actual fight, sure you can annoy them through spam, but you can't actually just go in and do what Tinker normally does, which is blow up a hero. Because Vichy is such a compact unit right now. And if you go into that, it's practically spelling your death if the mag doesn't save you very quickly. And Burning's just getting kited all day because there's 4 staff, Stampede. He has no form of lockdown himself as he hasn't gone for a basher. None of his team have stuns outside of an RP, which is a huge issue for him actually. Which I know you mentioned in the draft, but we haven't really touched on since.
Now, N gonna start tapping away into the tier 3. I think it's about time. The Lotus Orb gonna be there just to send it back to them. Oh, they really want to stall this. Tier 3 tower almost falls. If they can take the tier 3 tower, it opens up the shrines, making things really big. This Centaur is so fat. What the heck? He's fatter than the Ursa.
Yep. Ursa doesn't farm as quickly as Centaur though, so...
Oh, he just stands there, takes some damage from the tower with the Lotus Orb, brings the open wounds back into burning. So, shrines are open. They pop the nighttime.
Mag has a refresher, by the way.
Mag has refresher, that could be really big. Going for the skewer. They find Young, they're trying to blow him up. They need to kill him, but the global silence now comes out with the Stampede. Nice Lotus Orb usage to dispel the global silence. And they will back up, happy with what they got. If anything, they can actually just take the shrine. They're pinging it out as well.
Yeah, and they can go back in soon when Centaur regens with his heart. Sure, they don't have Stampede, but I think you trade that for global.
Bot lane's pushing in though.
I don't think they really care, because it's just creeps, right? And if Tinker TP's there, he's right-clicking a tower as a Tinker. Do you really care? He's a ranged creep. And this is your chance to end the game. There's no way you care about that bottom lane unless, like, another IG hero is there.
And not to mention, let's just remember that Tinker does not have buyback for 3 minutes. He used it early on. This is a big window for them. No global silence.
30 seconds, no nighttime, and there's also Stampede up in like 10.
Oh, look at XXS. RP. Oh, he's just going straight for the melee barracks. Bernie gonna try and click away into end, but he pops the rage. He's gonna be A-okay. Now for the RP! Coming in. They get 2. They burn the Aegis. Now he's just gonna shrine up OP. Actually gonna die to Orif that MKV. Looking for the Requiem of Soul. Doesn't get it off yet, but nice zoning ultimate out from Chuan. And Bernie's gonna be caught inside. He's going down. The buybacks will be forced out. And they're gonna keep on going, looking for the Magnus. Magnus still has the secondary RP. Doesn't want to use it just yet. And he's just gonna blink out. And this is gonna be the melee barracks now gone. They want to think about taking a mid-tier 3? I don't think so. And VG Gaming, they want to think about going back in center, just standing the front lines. He's not afraid. He has no fears in the world. He's like, come at me, bro. He's going straight for Burning. He's doing right-click him away there, Jailers. Now the RP to the backline, finding through with the skewer as well. This is all 4 heroes are caught, but they don't have enough damage, and that's going to be Burning going down. IG still alive, and no, VG Gaming, they pretty much won this fight. This seems to be the GGP. Blobber caught him against the wall. IGQ's called it. They've had enough.
Yeah, pretty anticlimactic end when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
They just walk down a lane, find the Tinker, kill him. But to VG's credit, you know, same thing as game 1. I'd say they outdrafted them in some respect in game 1. Game 2, pretty clear in my opinion. And they managed to control the game in a very convincing manner. Again, very few mistakes, which was very hard to do this game because playing against Night Stalker and your lack of vision with the imminent threat that there's a Tinker, that can tilt some people and make them make bad decisions, but they're proving they can do better than that, and they deserve to be a tier 1 team.
So,
competing for the TI even at this rate if they play like this.
Exactly, and you look at N 13-0 and 7 on the Ursa, and Centaur is also really on form. Like, that was just a really good execution coming up from VG. We saw that. We talked about how it felt like they were kinda on the clock. I mean, it wasn't they weren't fully on the clock. XXS continuously. I feel like they need to just change their game plan. Give him a different hero. Show us that he can do something else besides just like Magnus every game, because VG Gaming don't seem to really care about the RPs by this point.
I don't think it's necessarily the Magnus as much as it is like that game, their draft became extremely unsynergistic when they backed off for the Tinker. The previous game, their Ember was just like a null and void hero, so they were basically playing 4v5. Their drafts just are not favoring them at all right now.
So,
and I don't necessarily blame Q for what he did this game, because if he'd have carried on with whatever picks he might have gone for that wasn't unsynergistic, they might have lost in an even worse manner in like 20 minutes. But I mean, I don't know. He just needs to change it up, I think. I'm not blaming the Magnus as much as you, but I agree that they need to change it up because it is not working.
I'm not blaming the Magnus as well. I think he's been doing great, but I think maybe they just need like maybe a different game plan. Give him an alternative hero, because so far there's
set the tempo a different way, right?
Yeah.
Because Mag is a slow hero.
Exactly.
He's got an amazing blink timings every game, but look at what it's done. If you had an Axe, maybe different story. Probably not against an Ursa, but yeah, I can get behind that.
Okay.
I think that might be a bigger reason they're losing than because Burning couldn't do anything this game, right?
Yeah, and you were talking about, like, despite having good Blink Dagger timings, if he had any other hero, like, which got that quick of a Blink Dagger timing, I think he still could have more impact, especially since Tinker doesn't really come online that quickly as well.
Alright, so game 3, boys.
Alright, so that's just game 2, ladies and gentlemen. 2-0 in favor of VG Gaming. Will they close it out 3-0, or will we see IG with the dream comeback? Well, stay tuned and you will find out. My name is Hades and this is PQMZ. We'll be back for more Starlight action. See you guys soon.